On this episode, I'm going to give you guys a little insight to each episode, each guest, a little bit of behind the scenes stuff of what went on. So let's jump right into it. So my first premiere episode was with the artist Twizzy. Great freestyle artist. Before I had the actual idea of the show and the first production of it, I hit him up and I'm like, yo, I got this idea for a show called the Beat Bistro where I cook and produce a beat for my artist, and I would like you to be the first guest. So he jumped on board right away and was like, yes, I'm with it. Just let me know the details. So at this time, I'm still trying to come up with the details of what I'm gonna cook him, what beat I'm gonna make, and all that stuff. So it was kind of a hassle because it was the first episode, and I was trying to get it out for December 1st and just have everything in order. So I got all that stuff together. I hit him with what I was gonna make him to eat. Salmon with the pineapple sauce, and he was like, I'm with it. So I started prepping that as far as like, now I have to go buy the food and stuff. So it gets a little bit much when you gotta come out of your own pocket to go buy the food and then transport it there and then set it up. Same thing with the music equipment, like my MPC, I gotta bring it all over there, set it up, run through it a couple times, and then start cooking and then start the whole interview process. So, but he was on board with it, and I appreciate him for that. So throughout his episode, like I said, it was the first one, so there was kind of hiccups in the episode that you guys didn't see. One of them I put in there when I was making the beat, we were doing it, he was freestyling, and I hit like the wrong pad, and it hicked up the whole beat, like it just messed up the whole flow of the beat, but he didn't trip up at all, he just kept it going, and I just caught right back onto it, which is cool. So very professional in that sense, Twizzy. Just kept it moving, didn't stop, the show kept going for him, so I appreciate that as well. And like I said, it was the first episode, and he kind of set the bar as far as the programming of the show. So every episode after that, I wanted it to be the same structure, you know what I mean? We come in, I start prepping, we talk, interview, I start cooking, more talking, interview, and then the whole game thing. With him, I could spice it up, I believe, where he had to guess the spices, and that was pretty cool. I thought of that like on the way there, because I had some spices with me, so I'm like, all right, let me do that on the way there. So then every episode after that, I'm like, I'm gonna throw a little game in there to make it fun for the artist and fun for the viewers. So that was kind of cool. I didn't think he was expecting that, because I just pulled out the blindfold and I'm like, all right, man, we're gonna play a game. And he was with it and very taking to all the ideas, and worked out. And for his rap portion of it, he freestyled a lot of it, which I kind of want every artist to do, like give me like a freestyle off the top of their head, just rapping about what's going on with the food and whatever they're drinking. And if you watch his episode, he did that. He rapped about the White Claw, he rapped about salmon. So like I said, he set the bar kind of high for every episode after that, and I kind of followed that format from that episode going forward. So thank you for that, Twizzy, I appreciate you. And we're gonna get on to the next episode. Was my man Jay Sos. Great rapper, great guy overall. His episode was special too because we actually went outside the studio for his performance. Like we took it to a segment called Beyond the Bistro in the Stew, like a play on, like stew, soup. So we went outside the studio for his performance, but a lot of people don't know that the reason why we had to do that was because some of his footage, while he was rapping, the audio kind of messed up. So I only had the beginning verse of his rap. So right when it cuts is all I had. So we had to take it outside the studio and record it there. So that kind of worked out though. It gave me like another venture outside of the Beat Bistro, outside the kitchen, to kind of introduce the studio part of it into the episodes. So that happened by accident, but it kind of worked out for the benefit of the show. And his episode, like I said, we played the game. It was the same format from the first one. We come in, we prep, we talk about it, introduce yourself, and then I started prepping, talking about the food. And with him, he got kind of he flipped it around on me, where he asked me some questions about cooking and how I got into the kitchen and all that stuff. So it was a first for that, where the artist or the guest asked me a question and I got to kind of give my take on it. So that was cool. He started with that. So I talked about my culinary experience and how I got into it. And that was cool. We played a different game on his. It was One Has to Go. And I believe it was the You feel me? So it was different. Like every episode, I like to try to change it up for the guests, give them a little bit of little culinary things or some music stuff, and kind of keep it spicy for the audience to enjoy. But like I said, the little hiccup in that episode was that his audio at the end didn't get messed up. It just, I don't think it was recording. So we had to take it outside the studio to get the rest of his verse. But it worked out for the benefit of the episode. So thank you, Jay Sos. I appreciate you. So we're gonna move on to the next one. So the third episode was with Buddy Lofton. And for me, honestly, that was a special episode because after I heard his album, I definitely wanted to talk to him about the body of work that he just put out. And it was also special because I had Shells, the bass player, play with me. Pause. He played along with me while I played the MPC. He played the bass, so it was a little bit more into the episode than the others. It was more musical. I had the bass with me. The beat itself was a little slowed down, just a little more in the groove with it, which I kind of wanted to give the audience a more of a live feel and show what me and Shells do when we're in the studio. And his verse was crazy. It just I don't know, something about what he was saying. It felt like an album, like we were doing something off an album. So I really like that episode. It's probably one of my favorites as far as the music and the beat is concerned. And the meal, because when I started culinary, when I moved to the hot station, I started creating like pasta sauces and picking up a lot of the pasta dishes. So that episode kind of touched me just, close to my heart as far as me being in the kitchen. And when I started out in the kitchen from the cold side to the hot line, I was picking up pastas a lot. So it kind of hit home for me, and it was a special episode with that. For him, we also played the Guess the Sample game, Name That Sample, which I love sampling. I love older style music. I love going back in time and listening to some of the old stuff. So I got a chance to play some of my favorite records, some of my favorite old cuts from back in the day, and have him guess it. And the fact that on one of his songs on his album, he sampled, the name of one of the songs on his album was like Money, Power, Respect. I played that sample for him. So, it was just a feel-good episode, you know what I mean? And he came through, he brought me the sweater. It was all love, man. I had his album out there, and we talked about his album and really got in depth on the production and just the whole vibe of the album. And it just felt good, you know what I mean? By the third episode, I was kind of comfortable with being on camera and the whole gist of how the show, the production-wise, goes. So it's like I had more confidence being in front of the cameras and the lights. So it just felt good. I felt more comfortable, and I could give that comfortableness to the guests where they feel comfortable and they don't feel nervous or scared in front of the cameras and stuff. So it just felt really good. By the third episode, which was Buddy, it felt really good and really comfortable, and I felt like I knew what I was doing, and I knew what I was going to give the artist to feel comfortable as well. So, Buddy Lofton, thank you for stepping up to the plate with the Beat Bistro, man. Appreciate it. So, episode 4 was with One Take Carter, which was a little different. Now, after Twizzy 1, Jay Sos 2, Buddy Lofton 3, these are all artists that I know personally, so I was comfortable, you know what I mean? It was like we were just vibing in the kitchen while I cooked and make a beat. But One Take Carter, I don't know personally, so he was the first artist guest that I didn't have a relationship with. So it was a little, not nerve-wracking, but it was a little bit like, all right, I don't really know him, he doesn't know me. He knows of the show, I know of him, but I don't personally know him. So we spoke a little bit before the episode via DM, like Instagram. And I'm like, hey man, I'd love to have you on the show. I have a show called the Beat Bistro. If you're interested, this is what it's about. Cook beats, interview, come on down if you're interested. So he's like, yo, I'm into it. So I'm like, all right. So I heard some of his stuff, some of his music prior to, but now since he was becoming, he's going to be a guest on the show, I had to kind of really dive into his music and dive into his projects quickly, you know what I mean? Because I only had like a week. It was like a week I hit him up before the episode dropped or before we were going to shoot. So I kind of had to like dive into his music head first and really like take a good listen. So I did that. And I like what I heard, and but I already knew that when I got him on the episode that I wanted to know about, because he was on the show, the Netflix show Rhythm and Flow with like Cardi B, T.I., Jada, so I knew that I had some content that I wanted to talk to him about. And then as far as his music is, I pick a couple songs from his album or listen to his album and just talk about that. Some of the inspirations, the beats, all that stuff. But like I said, I didn't have a personal relationship with him, so it was just a little bit, not weird, but just like, someone you don't know, that there's lights and cameras on you, so you're kind of like a little nervous. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous with him just because I don't know him, so. But after a while, we warmed up and it just flowed smooth, you know what I mean? So, but for him, like I said, he was on Rhythm and Flow, the show on Netflix, like just a couple weeks ago, so he was a fresh face. People knew him, you know what I mean? He had a buzz going, so I thought it would be good for the show, be good for me, good for him to get some exposure. So right away, I was like, yo man, let's talk about this Rhythm and Flow and talk about the behind the scenes, what happens on a reality show and how that whole thing works. So we talked about it, and if you watch the episode, he talks about, some of the reality things that you think are reality and you think it's not planned, but some of it, it's not planned, but it's maneuvered to have certain things happen in a certain order for the sake of the camera, for the sake of the show, which I kind of knew that, or you kind of think that, but when you hear it from someone who's actually on set on one of these shows, it's kind of dope to listen to and experience. So that was kind of big, where it was like my first, semi-famous, dude, like someone that everyone knows from Long Island, which was pretty cool, man. He had the flat top, so it was kind of easy for you to recognize him. And we talked about that too. We talked about being recognized, going to the mall and stuff, and people asking like, yo, you that dude? So it was just cool, man. And like I said, it gave me a boost of confidence that people were now like reaching out to me to come on the show and actually liking the show, which after like the third and fourth episode, like after Buddy Lofton and after One Take, I started getting a lot of like DMs and emails from people interested in the show, which felt good, man, because you put your best foot forward in a project or something that you want to do, and you hope that people like it. And when they start reaching out to you, like, dope show, it's something I've never seen before, it's very original, like keep doing it, it just pushes you to go harder. So that's what it did, man. When he reached out to me, it kind of gave me motivation to want to continue this and keep it going for the culture, for the people who watch the show, and so shelling out money every week to produce the show and buy the food and come up with the beats, it just gave me more motivation to want to do that. I want to do it well and professional and keep it going. His episode, I did some research and like people call him the Pizza Man and he loves pizza, so I put that together quick. Like, all right, I'm gonna make this dude pizza, 3 different types of pizza, like give him an option, and he appreciated that, you know what I mean? Because I didn't tell him until like 2 days before the episode that I'm gonna make him pizza. And he was like, yo man, like I appreciate it, I'm the pizza guy, all that. So it just felt good. It was a feel-good episode. And the fact that I don't know him personally and he just respected it and appreciated it, it just made me feel real good. And like I said, gave me more motivation to want to cater more to the guests as far as what they eat, as far as the beats. And for his beats, I gave him 2 different beats because I heard his album, I heard some trap beats, I heard some boom bap. So I'm like, yo, let me give this dude 2 different beats, which was the first time I did that on the show. Everyone else pretty much gets 1 beat to freestyle to, but for him, I was like, I want to change up every episode and get better every episode. So I was like, all right, let me give this guy 2 different beats, 1 trap, 1 boom bap, and let him do his thing, man. So that was the first time I did that on the episode. And he appreciated that too. So, it was all love. One Take Carter, thank you for signing up or, agreeing to do the Beat Bistro, man. It helped me out, and I hope it helped you out, man. But thank you, bro. I appreciate it. So the 5th episode was Green Light Zone, Long Island battle rap. Rapper in general, but a battle rapper at heart, which I definitely wanted a battle rapper on here who's been through the means of URL and different battle leagues, because I'm a big battle rap fan, and I definitely wanted to talk to him about how it goes down, how the inner workings of the battle rap industry, setting up the meets, how it all goes down, and the fact that he's from Long Island. It was just a dope opportunity to get someone like that who's been through that on the show. So his episode was I really liked this episode too, because not only was he a battle rapper, we could talk about that, but he also plays keys, which a lot of people didn't know. So it was like kind of like a hidden talent type of thing. I got to give him a chance to show that and showcase that, which was just another dynamic for the show, which made it more interesting. And like I said, I like to keep the shows interesting and not just the same format every time. Like since episode 1, like I've kept the same format as far as like, all right, we're gonna play a game. You're gonna get some food. We're gonna interview. We're gonna talk about things. I'm gonna give you a beat. You're gonna rap. But as far as adding things, like, hey, if you play an instrument, you can come and play it too. And we'll still do the interview, we'll still do this. So I want to gain every episode and keep moving forward and keep adding things and making it better every episode. So I knew that he played keyboard. Well, he told me. I seen him in the studio playing once, and then like as we were talking about the episode, I'm like, yo, I got a keyboard, I could bring the keyboard and you could, hidden talent. Yo, Greenlight Zoe got a hidden talent. So, we did that. And that worked out well, man. It was cool. It was just a dope dynamic where instead of me just providing the music, the artist and the rapper also provided the music. So that was a different aspect of the episode, which I liked. And, Greenlight Zoe, his bars are witty, battle rap bars. Their rhymes are very witty, very metaphors simile-like. And I love that, man, when you got to think about the bar or run it back because it was just, had so many different dynamics to it, was dope. And he definitely freestyled because he was rapping about the margarita. I think he said, I forgot what he said, but he was definitely rapping about what was going on at the time, which was cool because, like I said, I want the rappers to give me a freestyle right off the top, right then and there, but some rappers can and some rappers can't, or some rappers do it, or some rappers don't do it that well, but I know him and he definitely did that, so that was a dope segment with him. We got to talk about, rap battles that he's done, battles that he's up and coming to do. It was just a great insight for me because I'm a battle rap fan, like I said, to kind of get into that world and interview him and let him tell his side of how all that goes down. Witnessing it firsthand. So, and then we played some games. We played Red Light, Green Light Zoe, which was a play on his name, Green Light. So I did the red pepper, green pepper, yellow pepper, and it was just fun, man. He had fun, smiles. I like the artists to be comfortable, have fun. Don't worry about the cameras or the lights. Just, it's me and you in the kitchen, and I'm cooking you a meal, and I'm making you a beat, man. It's just very, very comfortable, and he definitely displayed that. So Greenlight Zoe, I appreciate you for rocking out with the Beat Bistro, man. Thank you. All right, so episode 6, I had I Am Sav on the show. I Am Sav's episode was special. He was the first guest on the show that got a 3-course meal. He got an appetizer, I guess like an entree or 2 appetizers and an entree. Which was big because I had to pay for all of that. But it's cool, man. It's all for the cause. It's all for the show, man. So it doesn't really faze me. I want it to be like that. But he was the first one that got 3 courses. He got 2 appetizers. He got the calamari. Then he got the prosciutto wrapped shrimp over the guacamole and corn salsa, and then he got linguine and mussels, which was cool because. Like I said, I've worked in a lot of different restaurants, and just the movement in the kitchen. For the most part, every other episode was one dish, which I'm cooking, but I'm kind of standing still, letting things cook, and I'm prepping a lot. But this was a lot of movement, where I'm like, walking over to the fryer, coming back in the oven. Now I'm on the fire, in the pan. So it was a lot of movement, which reminded me of like working in a busy restaurant where you're just bouncing back and forth and things are getting done, hot food hot. So that was a cool aspect to do that in a regular kitchen, in like a house kitchen. When you're in the kitchen at work or a restaurant, it's industrial, so there's space and there's burners and there's fryers. You know, I was using a little fryer that was this big, which at the time, like I put the calamari in and half of it wasn't in. So, you know, I had to move it around my tongs, which was all good. But like I said, I'm used to that working in a restaurant, and it was just fun to do that and also have to interview them and still keep conscious to what they're saying, because a lot of the times when you're interviewing and cooking, you kind of have you're just like, yes, you know, they're talking and you're paying attention, but you're just like, all right, I don't want to burn your food, so it's like, yeah, okay. So to kind of challenge myself to cook all that food, not burn it, not mess it up, plate it, and still be involved in what he's saying was just a challenge for me. And you know, I like challenges, so it was cool. That was the first time of that caliber that I had to cook that much food in that short amount of time, because I have a limited time to produce this whole episode. So to make the beat, to cook the food, to put it out, to interview them, I'm only allotted a certain amount of time. So for myself, it was kind of like a victory when I put out all that food and interviewed him, and we played a game, and he rapped over the beat. You know, it was just a good challenge. I felt victorious after that. But that was fun. We played the Sounds from Under the Sea, which was fun. You know, I didn't think that having those animal sounds in the NPC was kind of funny, you know. Just, I like to, you know, keep it fun, keep it spicy, and change it up. Same format, same foundation, but always changing up the structure of it, you know. So with him, I'm somewhere above average, so I did Somewhere Under the Sea with my guy Sav. So it was just a play on words, and like I said, he had fun, and I appreciate him for coming down to the Beat Bistro, bro. Thank you. So last but not least, we had episode 7 with my man Trademark Star. And if you know Trey, he's a very intricate dude, man. Full of life, I would say. Full of life, full of just things to say. Very interesting man, interesting dude, man. So with his episode, his episode kind of came about in a frenzy of the person that I had to shoot episode 7 kind of fell through, and he was planned on being a guest, but not at that time. But I did run into him at the studio, and I'm like, yo, Trey, I need an episode right now. I'm like, are you down to do this? It was like, I think it was like a Friday, and I shot the episode on Saturday to drop on Sunday. So he right away was like, yo, I'm with it, bro. Whatever you need, I'm with it. So I was like, yes. So I put together a beat. And because it was such a short notice with him, I gave him the breakfast medley. He got the pancake, the chocolate chip pancakes, the peanut butter French toast, and the bacon, egg, and cheese, which was something I had to put together in a short amount of time, because I didn't have the normal time to come up with the dish and do all of that stuff. So it was like I had a day to make the beat, see if he likes it, and then get all that stuff, bring it over there, you know. So his episode was kind of rushed, but I kind of needed it at the time. And like I said, he was scheduled for an episode, just not at that time. So, but like I said, he jumped on board, man, and kind of saved that week's episode by doing it for me. So I appreciate that. But his episode was fun, man. If you watch it, he's a great character, man. A great spirit. You know, as soon as he came in, you know, Rusa. So just from right there, I'm like, yo, this is gonna be a fun episode. And with him, it was like I didn't feel like I was in front of the camera or the lights. It was just like, yo, we're chilling, we're hanging out, man. Like, yo, let's make some breakfast. Let's talk about it. And his album, Dark Jedi, I know he was working on it, you know, at the time. So it was like, yo, it's perfect. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the inspirations for that. Let's talk about how you came about with everything with that, and how's it going, the process of it. Some things don't happen when they're supposed to, but they happen when the time is right, and it just works out. And that's what happened with Trey, man. Like I said, it was a very comfortable episode. I just felt like we were at home, chilling, cooking, talking about music, man, and it was just a lot of laughs. I'm just thinking about some of the things that were said during the episode, and it was just a fun episode, man. So Trey, I appreciate you for coming down to the Beat Bistro and doing me that solid, man. I appreciate you. So that concludes this episode of the Beat Bistro Insights. I just want to shout out Fetus, the artist, for this shirt. Appreciate you, bro. But thank you guys again. I'll see you guys soon. Stay safe, stay healthy.